Wow, I'm having such Anis Bakai. No art drama mean si don't have to post. WTF.
Hello guys, I have returned and didn't really want to return, but it's like every other week there is an artist exposed for being a weirdo. And in this situation, they weren't even exposed, like they caused this entire situation themselves. So if you haven't heard, an art commentator by the name Just a Robot, or Jar, actively showed their true colors as a weirdo and defended Cinny Bear in a video that has now been deleted, but there are still archives of it if you were interested in seeking that video out. And before I get into the issues that I have with Jar's video, for a brief summary, a very brief summary of the Cinny Bear situation, Cinny basically sent very inappropriate and explicit images and text to a minor, and if you want to know the age gap specifically, 20 and 14. I feel like enough is said in that brief summary, but if you do want to know more about that situation, there are hundreds of videos on YouTube that you can watch to get more explanations on that if you're interested, I guess. And there's an actual doc that the victim Enos put out if you want even a clearer understanding of what happened. But back to Jar's video, pretty much his entire video was extremely biased, extremely misinformed, and extremely condescending. And it was overall just a poorly put together video in desperate attempts to defend somebody that he shouldn't have defended in the first place.
Unfortunately, the doc is so long that most people didn't look at it in its entirety, and if they did, they didn't look at it very carefully.
He right off the bat indirectly attacks art commentators who made a video on this topic by saying that they didn't read the document fully, but he himself admitted in an interview later that he didn't read them fully either. So not only do you have a bad take, you're a hypocrite as well. Like, you're telling me that you had the effort to make this horrible video that is over an hour long and half of it is you interviewing Cinny, then read documents that would have helped improve this video. It's like you wanted your career to just come crumbling down.
But as I was working on my Cinny video, I kept on going back and changing a lot of things about it. And once I finished my video on Cinny and looked at all the evidence I had lined up, it just didn't feel like a good video to me. I got that same feeling I had during the Pyro drama, the Hopeless Peaches drama, and the Spoctor drama. For those of you who do not know what the Spoctor drama is, basically back in 2018, he was accused of inappropriately messaging minors as young as 13 years old. But he got out of them because he did those actions when he was 16 to 17. Cinny was 20, about to turn 21, so there's no way she's innocent, right?
I don't understand why he's bringing all of these other examples of situations where the person was proven innocent for this situation when they have nothing to do with the issue. The minute where you have to pull from another issue to try and defend the current one, your point is lost. It's not valid anymore. And this is proof that he's literally grasping at nothing to try and defend Cinny. There is nothing to defend her. Even in this clip, he tries to use the Spoctor situation to be like, oh, it's correlated, they correlate with each other, guys, the parallels are there. No, in the same sentence you say that Spoctor was 17, as in still a minor, and then say that Cinny in her allegations is 20. You're disproving your own points in your own video, buddy. This is embarrassing.
Something. The first big red flag to me was how quickly Cinny admitted to grooming. When it comes to groomers, they never do that. Cosmodor didn't do that. EDP didn't do that. In fact, there's not one single groomer that I can think of that has ever done that. The only person that I can think of who admitted to being a groomer before Cinny was Spoctor, but he was innocent.
Once again, bringing up people that have nothing to do with the issue to try and make a point valid. Doesn't work. And then he proceeds to bring up Spoctor again, because that's all art commentators know to do when they're trying to defend somebody in situations like this, always bringing up Spoctor. But the difference is that in Spoctor's situation, he was proven innocent. There was proof to defend him. Cinny Bear's situation has been out for a month now, and there has been nothing to defend her.
Ooh, but did you actually watch Jack's video? Yes, and it barely had any evidence at all. It is mostly just Jack talking, and that's pretty much it.
This is where you can really tell he didn't read the documents, because if the video gave you nothing, the 2 documents in the description of that video would have told you all you needed to know. Enos' document is under that video, and full with all the information that you need to see.
Percent crystal clear. Cindy did 100% speak inappropriately around minors. But know who else did that? Pyro.
Throughout this video, he tends to do this type of sentence a lot where he goes, what Cindy Bear did was really bad. Says the bad thing that Cindy Bear did, and then goes, but there is no but. What Cindy Bear did was bad. And then he brought up Pyro again. This video at this point is more about Pyro's situation than it is Cindy Bear's situation because he brought him up so many times in this video.
She would also post gore and say inappropriate things where minors as young as 14 were present. Sure, this isn't good, but it's nothing that would get you that much backlash. Personally speaking, I went on Live Leak a lot as a kid, and I saw some very gory stuff.
You see, but she wasn't just posting gore in this Discord, she was also posting provocative drawings in this Discord that was 13 plus. She knew that there were minors in here and still posted stuff like that. The difference between you accidentally stumbling across inappropriate, immature stuff as a minor and what the kids saw in that Discord is that you stumbled across that by chance, while Cindy was actively posting the stuff in a Discord that was explicitly 13 plus. She posted this knowing that minors would see it and interact with it. Not the same, buddy.
It turns out that the minor was the one being inappropriate first, and she kept on pestering Cindy to talk about stuff like this. It's also important to note that this minor was a fan of Cindy's content that includes Scootaloo being in very suggestive outfits, which Cindy also made when she was 14. Yes, Cindy should not have engaged with this minor. She was the adult in this situation, and what she did was incredibly irresponsible. It also makes her look really sus.
He says in that exact sentence that what Cindy Bear did was wrong and that they should have never engaged back with the minor. So why bring up the fact that the minor interacted with them first? It's almost as if you were trying to like low-key say something without actually saying it. Like, why insinuate that the minor would be in the wrong at all? He also says that it's important to bring up that the fact that this kid was a fan of Cindy, that just makes it worse, bro. The power imbalance was there in this situation. So yes, important to point out, but in the context of going against Cindy, not defending them.
Sure, she could have forgotten this person's age. I talk to a lot of people myself, and it's hard to keep track of stuff like this sometimes.
How the hell do you forget people's ages? You don't even have to remember an online friend's exact age. You can just say in your mind, like make a mental note, minor, adult. But I don't know why he brought that up either, because later he says that Cindy was fully aware, so why bring up the fact that she could have forgotten? But oh yeah, she was fully aware. He just keeps contradicting himself.
She sent the same not safe for work essaying comic to this minor, and requested this minor to draw even more corn of the character of Boy and Nightmare Sans. From the censoring job, it looks like a few parts of this comic would have been legally classified as hardcore corn. The absolute worst thing Cindy sent was this picture of Boy fingering her avatar. However, it should be noted that the doc maker was not the one who censored this out. It was actually Cindy herself. When I first saw this, I thought, yeah, Cindy's guilty. But when I found out that she censored the worst parts of this comic herself, it made her look far less guilty than I was previously led to believe. I agree that what Cindy did was wrong. I agree she was being irresponsible. But
how the hell does censoring it make it any better? She still sent it. She should have never sent it in the first place. And you know that too, because you had to say it made her look less guilty and not that it made her look not guilty.
Oh, and also they go by it pronouns, which is not a normal thing, even by trans standards. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say that it's best not to take it at its word and give it over $10,000 in 3 days.
I don't know why he felt the need to bring up his pronouns as if it had anything to do with the situation. It's not important to the context of anything. It's not normal for people to use it pronouns. Okay? It's not hurting anyone. It's not important to the story. Don't know why you mentioned it.
By the way, I'm going off topic for this, but if anyone is going to try to make the allegation that I'm simping for Cindy, I'm not the one giving people $10,000.
When this situation first came out, a lot of people were saying that. People were saying that Just a Robot is simping over Cindy. He did this all because he was a simp for Cindy. And I thought, oh my god, where's all this coming from? Like, is it just because he's a guy defending a girl? No, I watched the original video and it's right there. I don't think anybody would have thought that if he hadn't mentioned it himself. And then even in a later interview, I can't find the clip, but it's in a Chud Logic video, I'm pretty sure. But he says, I'm a straight guy and she's a girl, so like, I may have felt attraction to her, but I'm a straight guy. What do you expect? Bro, the fact that he brought it up in the first place proves that this guy obviously had an attraction to her in some way.
Is what a lot of groomers do when they start grooming, but they tend to escalate things, and she didn't escalate things for 6 months. Or, who knows, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't actually know what grooming is.
Yes, Jar, you do not know what you're talking about. The fact that you said that she was doing what people like that tend to do at the beginning, but never escalated it into 6 months in the conversation, you're acting like this shit has a time frame. There's no time frame for this stuff. Shit like that could be going on for a kid's entire childhood until it escalates into something further.
I've won almost every single drama I've been in, even when I was on the losing side.
This part just made me laugh because the complex that this guy has to think that he's always in the right or he's always right is funny. Just the ego that this guy had is hilarious. How do you have such a high ego when having such bad takes? But you know, I guess that's what makes it more enjoyable, putting this guy in his place, because this is what happens when you let somebody go unchecked for so long. The other 50 minutes of this video is just the interview that Jar had with Cindy, and it is unbearable to watch. It adds no new insightful information, and half of the time, Jar isn't even letting Cindy speak. He is speaking over her and speaking for her because she clearly has no way to defend herself. And this interview really made it very apparent how biased this video was, as well as later on leaked Discord messages between them showing how biased he was and that he befriended her while making this video. But clearly their friendship wasn't that good or secure because she ended up leaking the messages, so... But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Hopefully I don't have to come back for another month or something, because, you know, the less drama there is, the happier I am and content in my life. And I guess that's it.